All right, today we are discussing Venn diagrams and how we can use that information to find probabilities or how many's and things like that. So that's what we're doing today. All right, so here and here. Out of 40 students, 14 are taking English, composition, and 29 are taking chemistry. So hopefully you remember that a Venn diagram usually encompasses a Venn diagram and a box, and that box represents the whole. So that box in this case represents 40 students. 14 are in English and 29 are taking chemistry. So we create little circles for each situation that we're discussing. So this is English and this is chemistry for me. So filling in this circle, there should be 14 total in that circle. And in this circle here, there should be 29 total. Now the reason I don't put that number in is because there's this overlap right here. There's this overlap, okay? So this whole circle needs to be 14, but this circle is inside this circle, so that's how it works. So all I can do right now is that. That's all the information I have with those. Oh, so then if I read this one, 5 students are taking both classes. Well, that overlap is both classes. So now I can fill in the rest of my circles. So this full circle right here should be 14. So I do 14 minus 5 and I get my 9. So that total, because 9 plus 5 is 14. Same thing over here. This would be 24 because 24 plus 5 is 29. So we have all those together. If I add all those up, 9, 5, 24, those are the ones that take English or chemistry altogether. So that is considered or. So this is 38 people total take English or chemistry, or both, if you want to go with that. So you use the word or both. That's only 38 people. My whole is 40. So all these numbers need to add up to 40, and they don't. They need 2 more. So the 2 is how many people don't take any. So don't take English or chemistry. So now we have all this information, we can now answer some questions based on what we want to know. How many students are taking just chemistry? Well, just chemistry is the one that's right here. This one would be both, they're taking English and chemistry, so that's not included in just chemistry. So think of just as the word only chemistry. So this next one is something that can be done. We want to create a Venn diagram showing the probabilities of each portion of the the probabilities. So hopefully you remember the probabilities should all add up to 1. So instead of 40 being there, the probability of anything happening is 1. So we create the same 2 circles, English and chemistry. But instead of putting 9 in there, I'm going to put its probability. So it's technically 9 out of the total. So remember, probability is event over whole. So the whole thing was 40. So we can write that at just like that and just leave it, or you can do 0.225. Either way. So this one would be 5 out of 40, or 0.125. 24 out of 40. Hopefully you can see where I'm getting these numbers from. They're just from up here. Or 0.6, and this one is 5 out of 40, or 0.05. I generally say leave it as a fraction, but you can write it as a decimal too. If they just ask for probabilities, you just put it however you want. What's the probability that the student is taking both classes? Well, that's 5 out of 40, or 0.125. What's the probability the student is taking chemistry? Well, that one actually isn't all that hard. They gave us that information to begin with. It's 29 out of 40, or 0.725. Okay, it's technically this one and this one added together. So it's all this together. But since they already gave it to us, we don't have to make it harder than it is. What's the probability that the student is taking just English composition? Well, that's over here, so that's 9 out of 40, or 0.225. All right, I'd like you to take a second, read this, and see if you can fill in as much as you can. Okay, looking here, this is about as much as I can do without talking to you first. So 36, hopefully you got at least this far. You didn't know what to do with the 36, maybe. I don't know. Maybe you did. Maybe you're super geniuses. So we have 18 here and 26 in chorus and band. 50 should be the total of them all. What we need to do is we need these individual numbers and the outside number here. So if I add these two together, 18 and 26, I get 44. Now, what this says here, that means that this circle plus this circle is 44 right now. But they say 36 students are enrolled in chorus or band. So that means these two added up should be 36. There's too much. And what that means is these are not mutually exclusive, meaning there is an overlap of 8. So that means 8 people were counted twice. So now I can figure out what goes in these circles. So 8 plus 10 is 18, and 18 plus 8 is 26. Now all of those added together, 10, 8, and 18 is 36. So that does not add up to our whole of 50, so I need 14 there. I want to erase this for my answers. And then from there we can answer questions. Now you don't always have to make a Venn diagram of the probabilities. It's just a possibility of something that you could do. You can just figure out probabilities normal. How many students are enrolled in both classes? Well, that's 8. That's the overlap, both chorus and band. How many students are not enrolled in either? We figured that out either. Also, that's 14. Now, those are the how manys. Now we're asking for a probability. So the probability is always the how many over the total. So the total is 50 in this case, so the bottom number will be 50. Only takes chorus, well there's 10 of them, so you can leave it as 10 over 50 or 0.2. Probability that the student takes band, so that's all of them, so that's 26 out of 50 or 0.52. Now we have this monstrous problem here where we have someone's taking math, geography, or history. So what we have here is 79 sophomores taking math, geography, or history. Now, they give us a lot of information, and you can try to fill these in if you want. But the basic idea is start with the one, the onlys. Okay, start with the onlys. So someone's taking math only. Well, that's going to be this little circle right here. 8 are taking math only. History only here is 16. That means they're not going to be in these overlaps. These overlaps are math and history, or geography and history. Okay, and this one right in the middle here, that's all 3. They're taking all 3 courses. So we have to, from here, elaborate on our mess. So I filled those in, so now I have to figure out, take some more information that they have. So math and history is 16. So that means this little overlap here should be math and history. That should be total be 16. Here, this little one who take geography and history would be 6. Okay, so then if we add all these together, 6, 16, and 16. So that means I'm adding what I'm getting for this one, and for the only. It should add up to how many people are taking history. It should add up to, this should be 36. So what does it add up to, though? That adds up to 38. Well, that means that there's an overlap. That means that some couple kids were counted twice. How many kids? Well, since there was supposed to be 36, 2 kids. So that's how I figure out this number. And from there, all the other information should be good. So since this one should be 16, 14 plus 2, there. I have these 3 numbers here, 18, 14, and 2. So math taking math, there's 30 people taking math. So then what's left of there, that's 6. And taking geography is 41. Add all those up, it should be 41. So these take a little bit of effort, and yeah, they take a little bit of effort to do here. So that's the fun of it. Okay, what is the probability that a person takes math and geography but not history? So math and geography but not history, meaning not the overlap. So these two are where they overlap but not the third one. So that would be 6 out of the total. So there were 79 total. What's the probability that person takes geography only? Well, that's that number. And person takes all 3 subjects. Well, that's just 2 of them. And again, you could write them as fractions, but if they tend to run off and you have to round them, don't. All right, have a good day.